Jai. Thank you so much for joining and chanting once again so nicely.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Amritamani Devidasi. Danvat Pranam to you and all the devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Madhavat Pranam to you, Shivapad ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. I wanted to mention that when I was in Orlando, my time, because I chant in the morning here, so I joined but there I used to join in the morning I try to join 4:35, 5 o'clock. So Amrita Mani Mataji is always there. So I'm really missing her chanting. So I'm praying I can reach home fast, to my home there, and then I can join there in the morning and hear and chant with Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Yes,
You,
Mataji.
I,
First time, 3 times Haribol for Amritmani Mataji too.
Hari Bol,
Haribol,
Hari
Haribol,
Bol,
Haribol.
Hari Bol.
By default,
Hari.
she joins so early, yes.
Yeah, I miss Mataji's chanting. I hope others are joining with Mataji to give company and, I don't know. I don't log in very early now. So, yeah, at our evening. So, yeah, who else is there in the call?
Mataji, even Vikas Prabhuji is also joining almost early in the morning, early morning. Vikas Prabhuji of Toronto.
Oh, yes.
Very nice to hear.
That's nice. Very nice. Vikas Prabhuji used to join early. Hari Bol to him also. If anyone can come
Haribol.
and thank him.
Haribol.
Hari Bol, Hari
Haribol,
Bol.
Haribol.
Very nice, very nice. That's so nice. Devotees are joining back to chant.
Hare Krishna.
Anybody else wants to announce?
Please accept
I
my
heard.
obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. This is Nikunja Rasadas from Germantown, Maryland.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Mandavat Pranam to you, Shupapat ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. It's so nice that, I always appreciate Prabhuji's regular, consistent recording, he's doing, and we are able to take advantage of it. So sometimes we miss like 15 minutes of class, and we know that we can quickly hear the recording, and it's all because of Prabhuji. So Hari Bol to Prabhuji 3 times. Hari Bol,
Haribol. Haribol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Anybody else would like to announce? Yeah.
Mataji,
Yes.
actually, the credit goes to Sham Rasika Mataji for all
Oh,
this.
Krishna.
Credit goes to better half. Huh?
No,
You're saying
no,
that?
She's always behind Prabhuji.
Actually,
100,
both of them are better half of each other. I would say that.
100%.
Yeah.
Everyone at the call in the conference, yes.
Hare
Yeah, both
Krishna.
of them are better half of each other. I won't say one is better half because, both are, Mataji is better half of Prabhuji, Prabhuji is better half of Mataji. So it's like they're all encouraging each other and encouraging all of us also.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, Rupini Padma Mataji and all assembled devotees. Danvat Pranam, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Shamarasika Devidasi from Germantown, Maryland.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Madanat Pranam to you, Shobhabat ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you so much for joining and always consistently continuing. And it's even hard for me because I'm not there sometime on the call. And I was remembering one thing from this call from Adi Guru Prabhuji, that it is very important to glorify devotees because they consistently doing and just seva. It's going to Guru Krishna, but we still need each other's encouragement here. That really boosts the energy. And I always remember that he said we should always glorify devotees for what, if they're chanting also or recording or, consistency, it's really appreciable. Thank you, Mataji and Prabhuji.
Let us chant 3 times Haribol for Poonam Mataji, who is better half of Surinder Prabhu. Haribol.
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol, Hari
Hari
Bol,
Haribol.
Hari Bol. And also 3 times for Shamarasika Mataji, we missed her. Hari
Yeah, Hari
Bol,
Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
One
Nice,
more
nice.
Haribol Mataji. Puja Mataji joined today after long time.
Oh, Hari Bol. I was remembering a few
Haribol.
days back.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hare
Haribol.
Krishna
Hari
Mataji,
Bol.
Dandavat Pranam.
So nice to hear your voice after a long time. We have many new people
Same
here
here,
now.
Mataji. Same
Yeah,
here, Mataji.
we feel that we've lost you somewhere in the world.
No, Mataji. Because of my, timings, I was not able to
Yeah.
join. Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
I'm still
I know
struggling with
because
that, but I'll try to solve my problem because I really want to join this class.
yes,
That's the
yes, yes.
reason.
And
Yeah.
I'm sorry for not contacting you because right now I'm in Delhi. But
It's okay, Mataji.
I
I
was
know
like,
that.
normally I catch on Mataji, but I was in the heart remembering where's Mataji. Thank you so much for joining. And
Welcome back.
Thank you, Mataji.
welcome back.
Mataji.
And whenever it's your call and just join in. Right, Mataji?
Yeah, sure, Mataji. I'll do it.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, yeah. And also, we miss your services. Sorry to
I'll
say that.
start that one also.
Yes.
I will
Yeah, that
definitely
really
start
helps,
that one.
Mataji, because then, with the service, like suppose I have to go to temple and I have to do like some organization once a week, then, automatically I will go once a week. It's like that. You get connected to Krishna through service. And I think Radhanath Balaji says that if you love someone, don't say I love you. You serve the person. That's love, So,
Yeah,
yes,
Mataji.
Mataji, we join us and, we miss you, your services, your voice, everything we miss. Thank you, Mataji, for joining today.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Anybody else would like to announce? We're going, I hope I'm not delaying the speaker today. Yeah, anybody else would like to announce before I hand over the call? Mataji. Okay, it's Prabhu Prabhu today.
Mataji,
And we're
Rekha,
doing
Rekha Mataji also joined after a long time. So
Rekha
next
Mataji also.
time, sorry.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Times Hari
Hari
Bol. Hari Bol. Hari
So
Bol. Very
Rekha
nice.
Mataji, please give your association every day. Hare Krishna.
Nice, Mataji. Anybody else would like to announce before I hand over the call to Prabhuji for the
Just
class?
wanted to let you know, Mataji. Rekha Mataji is also from Senior Connection Group. So, like Surendra
Acha,
Prabhu,
nice.
Geeta Mataji, Rekha Mataji, those are from Senior Citizen
Okay,
Group.
okay.
Poonam Mataji too, yes. And
Very nice one.
Krishna Prabhu too. He's in Delhi, but every day he's joining now. So, thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Very nice. That's so encouraging for
Oh,
me.
Mataji, sorry,
Because,
Rita Mataji.
one more person is joining from Delhi. I'm happy
Yes.
to.
And Rita Vora Mataji too. She's also from Senior Citizen Group. So we are so
Okay.
happy to have all of them. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol 3 times to all the
So,
senior citizens, devotees, sorry, who joined in. Hari Bol.
Hare
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari
Very
Bol.
nice. Thank you, Mataji and Prabhuji, Nikunjaras Prabhuji and Mataji, to encourage them to come. And, now we are able to take the associations. Wonderful question answers are going on. And, it's so nice. I mean, sometimes it's like, my mother also joins and she's like, I want to hear the question answers also. They're very interesting. So, thank you so much. Anybody else would like to announce who, we don't want to take the time of the speaker, precious time. It's already.
Shamraska Mataji, why the Prem Nandini Mataji is not joining for the last couple of days?
Yes,
Any news?
Prabhuji. Premanandini Mataji and Sandeep Prabhu are traveling. They are in flight now. So yesterday night they are traveling to Switzerland and then they will go
Oh,
to
Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
yeah. So for 1 month she will be traveling. So whenever possible she will join.
Hari Bol.
So thank you.
Okay.
I will convey your regards to her. Hare Krishna. Sorry, Premasarasa Prabhu, for the time. Please take.
So I think I'm going to hand over the call now, unless any more Haribols for anyone, appreciation or something which we would like to encourage. If not, then I'm going to hand over the call today. The topic is observing Vaishnava etiquette to avoid apradhas, and from everybody can look into Bhagavatam study 3.4.26, and today's class is by Premarasa Prabhuji from Mumbai, India. Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, are you there on the call?
Hare Krishna, Dhanvat Pranam to all the devotees.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Madharat Pranam on the auspicious day of Nirjala Ekadashi. Is yours Ekadashi also Nirjala in Mumbai, Prabhuji?
It's already there yesterday.
Okay, so it's different. Like in Delhi, it is today.
Yeah, we also
Yeah,
yesterday, Mataji.
Okay,
yeah,
so
this
in
time
India
there
also
is a
different.
difference.
Even in India, Prabhuji just wanted to find out it's different places. I thought it's India all over is Friday.
Actually, the thing is, if you consider the time zone, then there is a difference of 1 hour between the East Coast and the West Coast. So ideally, the India is not announced, the government has not followed this trend, but otherwise there is actually a difference of 1 hour, because if you see, the sun sets early and rises early in the East Coast rather than the West. So there is a, like, for example, the sunrise is in Mumbai, so which is on the west side, it's like around 6:05 a.m. But if you consider Bengal, Mayapur, then the sun rises at around 5:05. So there's a difference of almost 1 hour. So ideally there has to be a time zone difference, but we don't follow that, maybe because of 1 hour difference. So that's why I think maybe whoever is on the eastern zone, close to the eastern zone also, they have the Nirjala Ekadashi today, probably.
Yes, Prabhuji. I just follow the Shishi Radha Partha Sarthi temple's calendar because I'm so close, 10 minutes away. So I just follow that. Whatever they are doing, I'm doing. Okay, Prabhuji, please take over.
You are currently in Delhi?
I'm in Delhi, Prabhuji, since a couple of months. Yes, I've been here.
Oh, okay.
Going back by end of July. Yes, I had to be here with my mother, my daughter. So, yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Prabhuji, please take over. Thank you so much. I missed a couple of your classes, so today I'm looking forward to hear from you. Hare Krishna.
Well, actually, last month I did not give any class.
Okay. Then, yeah. Okay. But we have the opportunity to hear the recording just the same. Right after the class is over, thanks to Nikunj Prabhuji, we're able to hear the recording. Thank you, Prabhuji. Please take over.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. All right. I believe that you have made me the host, and
Yes, Prabhuji, you are host.
okay. I am able to share the screen also. Okay. All right. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमः ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्णहस्ताय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Okay, so thank you all the devotees for joining and taking your valuable time, giving me opportunity to serve you all. So today we are going to start. Now this may be a series of classes because depending on the devotees' interest, we'll be covering different sections of the topic, which is basically Vaishnava etiquettes. So generally what happens is that we talk and discuss a lot about glories of the holy name, but we also keep referring to aparads because unless and until you are free from aparads, whatever chanting you are doing, it does not give that much effect. So, and even when you talk about destroying your karmas, bhakti destroys unlimited karma, chanting destroys unlimited karma. It can destroy your past, present, and future all karmas at once, immediately. So we hear so many statements from the Shastra. So these are not exaggerations. It is actually like that. But we need to understand that it has to be done without any offenses. And offenses are, I mean, there are so many varieties of offenses. Of course, we have the 10 namaprats. But then if you consider offense to the devotee, then we need to follow certain etiquettes. And if we don't follow the etiquettes, now these etiquettes are so many. So it's like a vast ocean. So there is a book written by the devotees of Radha Gopinath Temple. It's a manual, etiquette, Vaishnava etiquette manual that they have written. And I believe that this was done by His Holiness Bhakti Samrit Maharaj under the tutelage of His Holiness Radhan Swami Maharaj. So I thought that this is very, very helpful and useful for all the devotees because they should know how to behave with devotees, not just with devotees, but even how one should conduct oneself, how one should practice one's sadhana, what is most important in sadhana, what is seva, how do we serve the devotees, how do we go in the temple, how do we take darshan, how do we honor prasadam. So there are many sections of the Vaishnava etiquette manual. Today what we'll be doing is, so we'll start with the most important principles of Vaishnava etiquette manual. And of course that is the dealing with devotees and non-devotees. So we'll start with that, and based on the interest, then we can try to cover as many sections as possible, and it can take a series of classes to finish it off. So one thing we need to, all right, so let us start with the Bhagavatam. I just forgot about that. Let's start with the Bhagavatam verse. Okay. Shri Uddhav Uvacha Nanute Tattva Samradhya Rishi Kausharava Antike Sakshad Bhagavata Dishto Martyalokam Jihasata. Synonyms. Uddhav Uvach. Uddhav said, Nanu, however, te of yourself, Tattva Samradhya, one who is worshipable for reception of transcendental knowledge, Rishi, learned scholar, Kausharava, unto the son of Kusaru, Maitreya, Antike, staying nearby, Sakshat directly, Bhagavata, by the personality of Godhead, Adishta, instructed, Martya Lokam, mortal world, Jihasata, while quitting. Translation. Sri Uddhav said, of course, reading from the third canto, fourth chapter, verse number 26. Uddhav said, you may take lessons from the great learned sage Maitreya, who is nearby and who is worshipable for reception of transcendental knowledge. He was directly instructed by the personality of Godhead while he was about to quit this mortal world. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Although one may be very well versed in the transcendental science, one should be careful about the offense of Maryada, Vyatikram, or impertinently surpassing a greater personality. According to scriptural injunction, one should be very careful of transgressing the law of Maryada, Vyatikram, because by doing so, one loses his duration of life, his opulence, fame, and piety, and the blessings of all the world. To be well versed in the transcendental science necessitates awareness of the techniques of spiritual science. Uddhav, being well aware of all these technicalities of transcendental science, advised Vidur to approach Maitreya Rishi to receive transcendental knowledge. Vidur wanted to accept Uddhav as his spiritual master, but Uddhav did not accept the post because Vidur was as old as Uddhav's father, and therefore Uddhav could not accept him as his disciple, especially when Maitreya was present nearby. The rule is that in the presence of a higher personality, one should not be very eager to impart instructions, even if one is competent and well versed. So Uddhav decided to send an elderly person like Vidur to Maitreya, another elderly person. But he was well versed also because he was directly instructed by the Lord while he was about to quit this mortal world. Since both Uddhav and Maitreya were directly instructed by the Lord, both had the authority to become the spiritual master of Vidur or anyone else. But Maitreya, being elderly, had the first claim to becoming the spiritual master, especially for Vidur, who was much older than Uddhav. One should not be eager to become a spiritual master cheaply for the sake of profit and fame, but should become a spiritual master only for the service of the Lord. The Lord never tolerates the impertinence of Maryada Vyatikram. One should never pass over the honor due to an elderly spiritual master in the interest of one's own personal gain and fame. Impertinence on the part of the pseudo spiritual master is very risky to progressive spiritual realization. Okay, so very relevant, extremely relevant Bhagavatam verse, and especially when it comes to giving classes on Vaishnava etiquette, then I think this is the best, purport by Srila Prabhupada, best verse also, very extremely relevant. And we'll also see something from the CC, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu expects his followers to also deal with the devotees. So I'll just share on the screen again. Okay, so this is, I'm going to read from CC. Sanatan Goswami visits Lord at Jagannath Puri, chapter number 4, Antya Leela, and we'll go to verse number 120. 122. So I will read only the translation because I don't believe there is a purport to all these translations. So we'll go through it, but you will get a good idea of the importance of Vaishnava etiquette as an ornament for a devotee. Okay, so when Sanatan Goswami, he just like he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so he took a longer route instead of going directly inside the within the premises of the temple. Instead of taking that route, he actually took a longer route and he went via the beach. So now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking him, verse number 122, when the Lord inquired, by which path have you come? Sanatan Goswami replied, I have come on the path along the beach. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, how did you come along the beach where the sun is so hot? Why didn't you come by the path in front of the Simhadwar gate? It is very cool. The hot sand must have blistered your soles. Now you cannot walk. How did you tolerate it? Sanatan Goswami replied, I did not feel much pain, nor did I know that there were blisters because of the heat. I have no right to pass by the Simhadwar, for the servants of Jagannath are always coming and going there. The servants are always coming and going without interval. If I touch them, I shall be ruined. Having heard all these details, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, greatly pleased, spoke as follows. My dear Sanatan, although you are the deliverer of the entire universe, and although even the demigods and great saints are purified by touching you, it is the characteristic of a devotee to observe and protect the Vaishnava etiquette. Maintenance of the Vaishnava etiquette is the ornament of a devotee. If one transgresses the laws of etiquette, people make fun of him, and thus he is vanquished in both this world and the next world. By observing the etiquette, you have satisfied my mind. Who else but you could show this example? After saying this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced Sanatan Goswami, and the moisture oozing from the itching sores on Sanatan's body smeared the body of the Lord. Okay, so here also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is praising Sanatan Goswami's humility and his exemplary behavior, because he was thinking that he's not qualified to directly be in front of Jagannath temple, and that's why he took a longer route. And although the sand was burning hot, but still he did not bother about it, because of course Sanatan Goswami is like a Nitya Siddha devotee, so he cannot be affected by such external things. But we are learning lesson from Sanatan Goswami that for a devotee to observe Vaishnava etiquette is very important, and most importantly, how to deal with devotees, because that's actually the root cause of aparadhs also. The aparadhs can come in when we do not take care of the etiquettes, because when we are dealing with devotees, we need to remind ourselves that we are not dealing with ordinary people, and these are the people who are very dear to the Lord. And of course, based on one's advancement of devotion, that much dear the devotee is to the Lord. So if one is Kanishta, is dear to the Lord, but more than Kanishta, the Madhyama is very dear to the Lord. And then of course, Uttamadhikari is the most dear to the Lord. So it is very important that even Vaishnavas also, see, we don't want to stay as Kanishta Adhikaris. We at least want to progress to the stage of Madhyama Adhikari, because Kanishta does not know how to discriminate, and he thinks that the Lord is only in the temple, and he does not know who is devotee, who is not devotee. So he can speak anything to anyone. He does not have that kind of discrimination power because of ignorance. And so it is necessary that the Kanishta gradually should go ahead to the stage of Madhyamadhikari. Now, Madhyamadhikari is the devotee who actually can discriminate who is equal, who is senior, who is junior, or who is Uttama, Madhyam, or Kanishta. It is not so easy to judge like that, because the Madhyam Adhikari, they have to be conversant with the Shastra, and they have to be thorough with that. Otherwise, it is very difficult. Now, some devotees may be very steady in their seva, but if they are not conversant with the Shastra, then it is quite difficult for them to understand who is actually a devotee in what stage. So artificially, we cannot do that. But of course, we can definitely have the guidance of senior devotees. And those who are advanced than us, we can take their help and guidance, and we can try to find out who are the devotees whom we should associate with in context of equals, who are the devotees with whom we can take guidance and we can serve them, and who are the devotees whom we can help by sharing our Krishna consciousness. So that way we need to discriminate, and that's why it is very important for a Vaishnava to discriminate also. Krishna Bhajnamrit. So again, it's a manual sort of a book which is written by Narari Sarkar. He's eternal associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in that also he states very clearly that it's very important to discriminate between different categories of Vaishnavas. If you treat all the Vaishnavas in the same way that you do to a Kanishta, then you also commit offense. So it is very important to be aware which devotee is at what stage. Okay, and of course that for that you will have to take some experience, you'll have to take some personal association of the devotee, or you will have to refer to some senior devotees who know that devotee very well. So they will probably they will glorify the devotee, or they will tell that, okay, you need to keep some distance from this devotee because his behavior is not proper, or he is not following the regulative principles, something like that. So that's how one needs to discriminate. Of course, externally only we can do it. Internally, though, like only Guru and Krishna knows what is happening. So Prabhupada said, that's why Prabhupada said that the stand of the devotee is shown by his service. The current stand of the devotee is actually shown by his service, his dedication, his commitment, his the practice of sadhana also. Based on that, we can understand the stand of a particular devotee. It's not very easy to predict in the future. Like sometimes we have a habit, we will over glorify a devotee sometimes, just out of like maybe we just want to be very nice and kind to the devotee, so we'll glorify the devotee beyond his limit. So over exaggeration of glorifying the devotee, you don't know about that devotee, still you glorify about that devotee certain things that you don't know. So that is all, it's not the right etiquette. And one should not always feel that, oh, this senior devotee, he has spent 40 years or is a sannyasi or a brahmachari, so he must be very advanced. We cannot assume that one is uttamadhikari like that. Even our own guru also, it's not necessary to say that he is uttamadhikari or he is like this or like that. We don't have to speculate about that, because one thing we need to understand that many devotees, even unless and until they reach the state of bhav, they can also fall down. So we have the example of Bharat Maharaj, and then we have the examples of Vasishtha Rishi also, who had fallen down twice, not just once. So these are like great personalities who have taken birth during Lord Ramchandra's time and Lord Krishna's time, but still they had fallen down. Then we have great yogis also who have fallen down. So it is not so easy to predict whether someone is Nitya Siddha or Uttamadhikari or this like that. One can say that, okay, yeah, it seems that, my guru is very advanced or he's a high caliber Vaishnava. But we cannot really understand unless and until we know that this particular guru or a devotee is in the stage of bhav or prem. Now, prem is actually the final perfection of our sadhana. So unless and until a devotee reaches the level of prema, you cannot even speculate. So it is always good to have some benefit of doubt about any devotee in your circle. Okay. Otherwise, what will happen? You may have some over expectations from that devotee, thinking that my guru is a Nitya Siddha or this devotee is Nitya Siddha. And then later on, you'll understand that, well, he's not even a Madhyamadhikari, proper Madhyamadhikari. He's not even following the regulative principles. So that may cause a lot of shock and concern. At the same time, your faith towards Krishna consciousness movement can also get destroyed. So it is also necessary to be very careful and always follow through the eyes of Guru Sadhu Shastra. Okay, now one thing we have to remember, that the entire goal of all these etiquettes that we are discussing is that somehow or other we should always think about Krishna and never forget him. So always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Of course, how we remember, that's another thing. For that also we have to follow etiquettes. But we should not get carried away with, because there are so many etiquettes and we cannot just think all the time about the etiquettes. So our main focus has to be on Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, and of course our services also. But we have to keep in mind that we need to stay grounded. And of course, if you just follow this one principle, and that's why our Acharyas also say that if you have the garland of Trinanapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Saizna around your neck, then you are safe. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that if you chant Hare Krishna and do not commit offenses, then you very quickly you'll attain perfection in this life. So this is very important, and that's how we need to understand what are the etiquettes now. Okay, so okay, now I would like to ask the devotees: should I share on the screen these etiquettes, or should I just narrate, or like just share without sharing on screen? Would you like to see the etiquettes directly?
Yes,
or
Prabhuji.
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhuji.
Okay,
You can share, Prabhuji.
Yes, of course. The direct evidence, it's not so no one can feel that I've made something up, made some of my own etiquettes. Okay, so this is the manual, and I greatly, very highly recommend each and every devotee. If I can share it to all the devotees, because I would love that devotees, if they go through all these etiquettes and if they are able to, of course, now uh, I am just sharing all these etiquettes, does not mean that I am following all of them. So if some devotees, they feel satisfied with the class, then you can pray for me that I also can follow all these etiquettes as much as possible, because practically now, of course, I don't know if there are any devotees from the management side here, but this is my experience. I have spoken with many temple presidents and vice presidents, and I think every one of them, they have told me that these etiquettes, they are like very ideal standard, high standard, and almost impractical to be followed, each and everything. So yeah, it is true. It is not so easy, especially for the devotees who are doing management service. They are taking some authoritative position in the temple, because they have to deal with people. These are the devotees who are actually in the field. So it is not, all these knowledge is very theoretical. Um, we need to have a lot of advancement from previous life in order to implement all these etiquettes. So there are, of course, many senior sannyasis and great devotees whose behavior, whose personality is actually a exemplification of all these etiquettes. And of course, we have seen that also, right? So there are so many ISKCON leaders, sannyasis, gurus. They are the personification of all these etiquettes. We'll come across that, and we'll see how they personify all these etiquettes in detail. Okay, so this is the fourth part of the book, and dealing with different category of devotees. So there are three categories of devotees, which we have already discussed. Rupa Goswami says in the Nectar of Instruction that one should mentally honor the devotee who chants the holy name. One should offer humble obeisances to devotee who has undergone spiritual initiation, and associate and faithfully serve a pure devotee who is advanced in undeviated devotional service and whose heart is completely devoid of propensity to criticize others. Right? So this is how we understand the three different categories of devotees. So in order to simplify things on a practical context, what we need to do is, if there's a devotee who's chanting the name but he's not yet initiated, of course respect has to be there for each and every devotee. What to speak of devotees, respect has to be there for each and every living entity. This is a real Vaishnava, because a Vaishnava can never cause harm to anyone, and he can never cause pain to anyone. So we need to be careful that, and of course in the Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says that whenever required, we should not disturb others. So we have to we should speak in a very gentle way, so that will not agitate or disturb others, right? Then what to speak of devotees?
So $50.
Categories of devotees. Now dealings with the spiritual master. Okay. Yes. So one should humble oneself submissively and render service to the spiritual master. One should take the orders of the Guru as one's life and soul. In the presence of Guru, one should not instruct others without receiving his permission. Right? So this is very important, because many times we get over enthusiastic, and even in the presence of Guru or any senior devotee, as we actually discussed Srila Prabhupada's purport. So Prabhupada is saying the same thing, that whenever there is a superior personality present amongst us. And now see, one thing you need to also understand. So Uddhav and Vidur, they are meeting each other. Maitreya is not even present before them. So he's saying that Maitreya is present here means that he's somewhere nearby. So it's not that he's physically present, along with their conversation. He's not right there, but he's actually somewhere nearby. So now, of course, in those days, if someone is nearby, then one can directly take advantage, directly go to them and speak to them. Nowadays, so you can get access to each and every devotee from every nook and corner of the world because of online sessions and all. But those days there was no online connectivity, and that's why when Uddhav is saying that Maitreya is nearby, so he's actually is as good as saying that he's also present here, right? Because of connectivity issues. So that's why when there's a superior person. Now Prabhupada also says in the purport that Uddhav is, of course, very much qualified. He's also very well versed. He's got direct instruction from Krishna. Moreover, you also need to understand that Uddhav is a direct associate of Lord. He is associate of Lord in Dwarka, right? And of course, he has a very intimate relationship with the Brajvasis. He has a very special position in terms of being present in Braj at the same time also being present in Dwarka, right? So one way we can say that Uddhav is, of course, much more advanced than Maitreya. Now, Maitreya is, I think, in one purport, if I remember correctly, in one purport, Srila Prabhupada writes that Maitreya is not even a pure devotee. Whereas Uddhav, of course, we know that he's one of the greatest servants of the Lord, very intimate friend of the Lord also. So Uddhav has got a Dasya type of relationship, Dasya and Sakhya relationship with Krishna. Of course, the Sakhya is covered with some Aishwarya, and he's also like serving capacity of being a servant to the Lord. Whereas Maitreya, he is not a pure devotee. That's what Prabhupada said, if I remember correctly. So you can see that in spite of all these qualifications, Uddhav is actually more senior. Now, once we need to understand that, like we'll go ahead and we'll also discuss how seniority is decided based on what. So in that it is mentioned that seniority is decided and who took initiation first. Of course, that is there, but in terms of external principles, one can decide based on who took initiation first. But actually speaking, a devotee who has taken initiation later on, he may be much more advanced than the devotees who have taken initiation earlier, because the devotees taking initiation earlier may become complacent and they may become very slack in their Krishna consciousness, whereas the devotees who are very enthusiastic from the beginning, they are steady, they can go ahead even if they are taking initiation later on. And one example is that Srila Prabhupada's example, because we know that he met Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur in year 1922. I think that's the first time he met Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, and immediately he got instructions from him. And then after 11 years, that's in 1933, Prabhupada took initiation from Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. So now Prabhupada was actually a junior to many of his godbrothers. But later on, we can understand the position of Prabhupada, that ultimately he became a Jagat Guru, Acharya, right? So none of his godbrothers actually got that kind of respect and position, the same as Srila Prabhupada. So in that sense, we can also say that, okay, Prabhupada, he took initiation later on, but finally, he was the greater Acharya in the history of human race. So one may be very advanced, but still one has to also take into consideration the seniority in terms of who took initiation first, or also seniority in terms of age and in terms of overall qualification. So these are multiple factors that can actually help us to decide. So for a disciple, of course, the most senior devotee or the whole and soul for a disciple is the Guru. So the Guru is the first senior devotee in his life. And then rest, all the other devotees, they are all secondary. So now, of course, it can be the Diksha Guru, it can be the Shiksha Guru, anyone, based on the relationship of the disciple with the Guru. But whenever a devotee is in the presence of Guru, he should not instruct others without receiving his permission. Then in the presence of Guru, one should not take one's own disciples, right? That also we understand. One should simply obey the instructions of Guru and should not question it. We should not disobey the instruction thinking that we know his inner feelings. So sometimes, we may become very expert in Shastra, we may know many things, and we may get an instruction from the Guru that probably we don't want to follow or we don't like. And then we start manipulating that or speculating on that. And because of our knowledge, we try to interpret it in different ways. So we have to be careful that that should not be done. If the Guru, of course, now when it is saying that we should not ask question, it's not like that exactly. We can ask question, but there is a proper way to present the question to the Guru. And we have to see the time, circumstance, place also. and then we have to ask question. So if the guru is not in the mood, not in a position to answer the question, or it is inappropriate question, then of course we should not ask at that point of time. But later on, we can definitely ask question, but it has to be in a very humble spirit. Okay, we need to accept accept and follow his instruction. Yes, then now one of the most important etiquette: one should never instruct one's own guru. Even if one wants to present something to one's guru, thinking that this information may be helpful, one should always present in a very humble spirit. So this is also something that we need to take care of. See, I would like to share something very important. When Prabhupada was there, so that time Prabhupada being a Acharya, Jagat Guru Acharya, some not just an ordinary Acharya, but he's like one of the greatest Acharyas. So Prabhupada, we can say that he was directly in touch with the Lord. And so there are two aspects of instructions of a guru. One is the spiritual and one is material. Like, for example, Prabhupada actually engaged his disciples, and sometimes he also told the disciples that you are supposed to do this, do that, and you are supposed to, you can do this, in terms of, in the context of receiving some kind of material instruction. Okay, I need to open the door, so I will be back. Okay. All right. Yeah. So there are two types of instruction that a guru can give. One is material instruction and one is spiritual instruction. So of course, a spiritual guru is connected to the spiritual instruction, and disciple is supposed to follow the spiritual instruction. Guru may sometimes give material instruction in terms of one's family life or married life or career life, something like that. He may give something, he may present something, he may share his opinion. From his experience, he may also share something. So it is not necessary that we have to accept each and everything that the guru says. So that has to be made very clear, because a lot of devotees, they think that, okay, my Diksha Guru said something, then I have to take it very seriously. And if I don't do it, then I will commit aparadh. It's not like that. You need to filter out. You need to have the discrimination to understand which instruction is spiritual, which is not. So you may, and any matured, experienced guru will never do that. He will never say to the disciple that you have to follow it, otherwise, you will not please me. Or he may feel like he may be annoyed because you are not able to follow the instruction. So a devotee or disciple, they have the right to also express to the guru that this is something that we are unable to do at this point of time. So then sometimes, the guru may also give some instruction which is beyond their ability to surrender. So, and this happened the time of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur also. And disciples, like for example, Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur expected disciples to chant 64 rounds every day. And he wanted Grihastha devotees also, as well as his brahmachari and sannyasis also, to do that. But then later on, he of course knew that Grihasthas, they cannot do it. So there were disciples and devotees who admitted, and they also shared their views that Guru Maharaj, we are not able to follow this at this point. So kindly, if you can, give us some alternative or like whatever. So then, he was very practical. He was very kind, very affectionate. So Guru is supposed to be affectionate, kind, and he's also supposed to give very practical instruction, especially considering the devotee and disciples' current status, current level of advancement in bhakti. If the Guru does not do that, then he is actually probably not really, he may be advanced, but probably he is not able to practically guide the disciple, and it may create a lot of problems or issue. Now with Srila Prabhupada, because he was like, we assume that he is a Nitya Siddha devotee, and he was, because he was in directly touch with the Lord. So there were many instances where Prabhupada gave some material instruction. For example, there was a devotee who was supposed to board a ship, and he was to travel in a particular route. So I think he was about to leave. So he was in Prabhupada Association. He was part of the Sangha, and then later on he was about to leave, and he was supposed to go to another city. So he had to cross the river using a ship, and he went to Prabhupada and he told Prabhupada, he just informed Prabhupada that, Prabhupada, I seek your permission that I need to go now. So Prabhupada said, okay. And then he asked him that, so how are you going? And where are you going? So he told him that this is how I'm going, I'm traveling like this. So Prabhupada said, then Prabhupada asked him that which route the ship is going to take. So this disciple said that it's going to take this route. Then Prabhupada, after a few seconds, he said, no, the ship is going to take some other route. It's not going to go this way. And this disciple, he said that, no, it's not possible because there is only one route. And Prabhupada probably does not know, and that's why maybe Prabhupada is just suggesting. So he expressed his views to Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, no, it's going to go from this way. And then again, it happened for 2-3 times. Then Prabhupada told him, no, it's going to go from. So this disciple, he thought, now let me not argue with Prabhupada. Maybe I don't understand what he's saying. Or probably, maybe Prabhupada has got some, got some conception about the route, and maybe he's not aware. So he just thought like that, and he left it. And then when he went, so it was announced when he just boarded the ship, it was announced that the ship is going to go from the route that Prabhupada actually suggested, not the usual route that it was supposed to go. And why? So later on, actually what happened, he got to know that if he would have gone in that route, the same route, then that ship would have drowned that day because the circumstances were not so good. So then he understood that, oh, this is something amazing. But Prabhupada, whatever he says, we need to follow that. So in case of Prabhupada, someone who is like, who can actually, who is inspired directly from the Paramatma, who can actually predict the future also. So then we can follow. And that's why I think the best way to understand this on a very practical level is that, of course, our Guru is not on the level of Srila Prabhupada. That's one thing which is universally accepted in ISKCON. Right? That is a founder Acharya is on a very special position. And then all other gurus, they are all serving Srila Prabhupada, they are assisting Prabhupada. So now what if we do not know whether our Guru is on the same position or not? Let's say if he is not. If he is not, then very simple. Then he cannot say something like this. He cannot imitate Prabhupada. Okay, so that's something that the Guru has to be very cautious, that what he has to say, how he has to present. So he cannot imitate Prabhupada. Okay, and we have seen the consequence of imitating Prabhupada in the past in ISKCON. So many zonal acharyas, they had fallen down, right? They left, and then they also stopped following the regulative principles, and they left ISKCON, and they had fallen down later on. And these were some of the devotees who had personally helped Prabhupada, assisted Prabhupada, being their personal servants also. Okay, so let's say, for example, if the Guru is not on the level of Prabhupada, then the Guru cannot, if he does not know really, if he's inspired now, if he's inspired from the Paramatma, if he's a Sadguru, and if he's inspired from the Paramatma, then you may present your view like in the same way as this disciple was, he was trying to cross-check with Prabhupada whether he really understood this route or not. So you can do that. But if the Guru is repeatedly saying that, no, you just follow what I'm saying. If he says a couple of times, then finally you need to accept it. This is how you can actually make a proper judgment. Okay, so there are many material instructions that it's not necessary you have to follow that. If he is a Sadguru, and if he insists that you do this, no, don't do this. And if he insists that you do this, then you must follow that, if he is a Sadguru. Okay. If one is not a Sadguru, then one needs to understand that they are at a very low level, and they cannot give such kind of instructions. So they need to be very practical, and they need to know their stature also, with what level they are at devotion. Are they at Nishtha? Are they at Asakti, Ruchi? Which stage? So someone at the state of Bhav and Prem, or at the state of Asakti, they are the ones who are like really connected with the Paramatma, but not all of them. Okay, so that's what we need to understand, because it can create a lot of chaos in a disciple's or a devotee's life. Another thing we need to also understand is that now also talking about the spiritual instructions. So see there, although we may have some kind of we may have guru, and it is necessary to follow the instruction of the guru, but there is also the principle of difference of opinion, or you can say individuality. So now there may be details where we may also not be aligned exactly as our spiritual master, in terms of certain views which are detailed. So there are two things: there is principle and there is detail. So principally we are supposed to follow the instruction, but when it comes to detail, then we may have our own choice. Like for example, if the guru cannot tell you that your taste, your main limb of bhakti should be Shravanam or Kirtanam or Smaranam, like that. Of course, our acharyas, they have very strongly established that without Shravanam, there is no Kirtanam. So these are fundamental principles. But then over and above that, you have your own taste, your own limb of bhakti that you would like to perform. Okay, you have your own choice in certain things, which is not necessary that your guru may have the same opinion or choice. Okay, like for example, one of the example is that whether you would like to drink the A2 milk, or whether you would like to consume the milk which is non-A2 in nature. Okay, these are all like details. So of course we understand that if the cows are tortured, and if they are mentally tortured, they are physically, emotionally tortured, then we don't want to give them that kind of environment. But it does not mean that we stop drinking milk of the cows, because for the cows, offering milk is very important, because there we are offering milk to the Lord. So the cows also want to offer naturally their milk to the Lord. So it is okay, so there are certain things where you not necessarily, and of course, before having your own opinion or understanding of certain things, you also need to make sure that you are thoroughly well versed with the Shastra. Because what is the value of your opinion when you are not even aware of many things? It just shows the sign of immaturity and inexperiencedness, right? So if you don't know Shastra and then you say that, well, I differ in this, I don't agree with this, that does not make sense, because your value or opinion does not have any value as such, because you are saying from a very mental platform. It's a speculation. But when you study Shastra, you understand Shastra thoroughly, you have read Prabhupada books in a deep way, you have read the Acharya books in a deep way, and then when you present some point, then the spiritual master can accept it, or he may say that, yeah, you may have your own opinion on this. But if you are a small neophyte devotee coming, in ISKCON, just 1 or 2 years, 3 years, and you don't even know many things, then it's better you just need to hear, and with time you will understand many things later on. So after that, you will get some kind of discriminating power. And another example is that, like Jeev Goswami in the Bhakti Samrit Sindhu, it is mentioned that when we are having prasadam in front of the deities, then we are supposed to close the curtain. So Jeev Goswami says that when we are having prasadam, we are supposed to close the curtain. But Vishwanath Thakur, now Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is actually a junior, and he appeared much later than Srila Jeev Goswami. Okay, but Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in his purport, he says in his commentary, he says that we can eat everything in front of God. Of course, it means prasad. Does not mean that you don't offer and you try to eat in front of the Lord. So whatever items you want, you can eat in front of the Lord. but except only one thing, which is tambula, betel nuts. Okay, so now see, there is a different opinion. Same way, Jeev Goswami, Vishwanath Thakur, they have a lot of different opinions on different points. And similarly, Baldev Vidyabhushan and Vishwanath Thakur, who are related to each other as guru and disciple. Now, Baldev Vidyabhushan is actually Siksha disciple of Vishwanath Chakravarti. So he also has, sometimes he also differs in his understanding and he presents his own views, right? So we need to understand one thing, that there is the principle and there is the detail. If there is it's a matter of detail, then we have our own individuality and we can follow that. But it's not necessary that each and everything that the guru says, we have to do it. So we need that discriminating power. We need to have that kind of. That's why we can also take guidance from Guru Shastra. What are like for example, now each and every guru, they have their own flavor, their own emphasis of presenting certain things again and again in their classes. Okay, so some are expert in Bhagavad Katha, some are expert in presenting, giving emphasis, a lot of emphasis on qualities. Some are emphasizing Harinam, a lot of emphasis on Harinam is given. Some are emphasizing on book distribution. So all these emphases, they are based on their own individuality. So it is not necessary that we may also, of course, there are general things like qualities, which is same. Trinanapi Sunichana, humility, then developing Vaishnava qualities. These are common for each and every one of us and for all gurus also. So that all we can accept. But when it comes to flavor, then every devotee has their own flavor. So that they can follow, right? So these things we need to understand very thoroughly. Otherwise, we'll always get into a mental trapping of, oh, I committed offense, I did not respect my guru or did not follow his instruction. So it is not like that. You can, many times, what you can do is you can always go to your guru and you can always tell the guru that this is what I'm thinking, this is what I'm feeling, please correct me. And the guru, if he's matured, that's why generally it is best to take to make a guru who is very thorough in Shastra. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says that whoever is conversant with the science of Krishna consciousness, he is qualified to become a guru. So there are two qualifications of a guru: to make someone a guru or to follow someone as a guru. One is that he has to be very conversant with the science of Krishna consciousness, which means he should know the essence of the Shastras, the essence of Prabhupada teachings, the essence of Acharya teachings. That's how he can actually convey to the disciples or the devotees. And second is the behavior of that devotee, guru. So that behavior is also very important, because in many places in scriptures it is mentioned that the guru must be Mahabhagavat. He must be a very topmost devotee of the Lord, and of course his behavior is very exemplary. So that also we need to consider. So these two things make a devotee actually, and that's why Srila Prabhupada also in his Nectar of Instruction, so he writes there that generally, so he recommends that one should take diksha or guidance from Uttamadhikari. And he says that because under the guidance of the Uttamadhikari, a devotee can progress very nicely. And he can also become Uttama. But if a devotee, if by chance a Madhyamadhikari can also become a guru, but if that devotee is taking guidance from Madhyamadhikari, then under his guidance, he's not going to reach the topmost position, because there is going to be some limitations. Okay, because the Madhyamadhikari himself is struggling with anarthas. I mean, Nishtha, the stage of Nishtha, generally at the stage of Nishtha, one becomes a Madhyamadhikari. That means that 75% of anarthas are almost gone, but 25% of anarthas are still remaining, right? So it is not, and it's a 50-50 stage in the stages of devotion, right from Shraddha to Prema. So a guru who is in between, of course, he's also facing his own struggles of anarthas. So how can he elevate the disciple to the topmost position? And that's why it is said that a Bhav Bhakta can elevate the devotee up to the level of Asakti, and a Prem Bhakta can elevate a devotee up to the level of Prema. Okay, so this is what we need to understand. Okay, we'll go ahead. Yes. Yes. So, so these are all very extremely theoretical statements. One need to understand that this is directly coming from the scriptures. Okay, and that was the culture that time. There was a lot of respect, regards given to the guru. But in the practical current scenario, we also have to understand one thing. See, this is a very important consideration, and this important consideration is extremely relevant to all of us, especially for ISKCON devotees, is because ISKCON is a preaching movement. If you see in the past, before the time of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, there was no preaching. It was one-on-one Krishna Katha, give and take from the Guru and disciple, right? So whatever doubts you have, you just clarify from the Guru. You humbly serve the Guru physically. Bapu was there, and of course Vani. I mean Vani in the sense that what was the Vani about? It was just about bhajan, because the Guru will tell you that okay, please focus more on Shravanam. Please understand everything very properly in Siddhant Tattva and then apply in your life. So Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, all these were the deity worship also, how we are supposed to worship the deities. So it was not nothing that, like the Guru did not say that, okay, do one thing, you go to this country and open a temple, and become the manager of the temple. Nothing like that was there, right? So all these etiquettes, very theoretical, ideal in nature, and we need to also understand in the current context. So, His Grace Mahatma Prabhu, he was sharing with me one time that His Holiness Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj, who is Srila Prabhupada's godbrother, so he once said that most of the instructions of the acharyas or of the shastras, they do not apply to the current context, because when you start preaching, then it's a different ballgame altogether. Then you are like all these things you cannot apply there, because there was no management in the earlier days. Very limited, restricted set of devotees. Now there are like a guru has got like 50,000 disciples, 20,000 disciples, 10,000 disciples. So the scenario is completely different. It's not possible to guide each and everyone personally, physically with Vapu. Most of the devotees in ISKCON, they are just carrying on with the principle of Vani more than the Vapu, right? So, and of course, if you have your Siksha Guru, then you also get Vapu. But the problem is that ISKCON devotees, they feel that Guru means only the Diksha Guru. It's not like that. Actually, Chaitanya Charitamrita very clearly stated that the Diksha and Siksha Guru are identical representation of Krishna. So you have to, of course, and it's the disciple who is going to take that choice or decide whether this devotee is my Siksha Guru or not. Because Siksha Guru is not a very light term. It's not a light word. It's also as good as the Diksha Guru. Okay, so you need to have that kind of respect also for that devotee. Then you can consider on equal platform. So if a devotee is helping you in your Krishna consciousness to a great extent and for a long time, that devotee is basically one of your main Siksha Gurus. And he can be called as a Siksha Guru. Okay, not any Tom, Dick and Harry who will come and he will instruct you for some time and just go away, or you don't even have a relationship with that devotee. Or sometimes some devotees may help you, but it's not necessary that you may consider them as your guru. So all these factors, they also add to many complexities of following the etiquettes in the current scenario. But this is a roadmap. It's a theoretical roadmap. As close as possible, we can try to follow that. Okay. So of course, and then we also require the proper guidance of Guru Shalu Shastra at that particular time. Okay, so one should never argue with one's spiritual master. Yeah, so this is a common principle, whether you are in this age or whether you are earlier age. We are not supposed to argue with the spiritual master. It has to be done in a very humble spirit. One should never present one's qualification to the Guru, and one should always remain in a very humble position. So we should always think that we are servant of the... See, one principle which is common for all the devotees of followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or you can say for any other sampradaya also, is that they always think that they are servant of each other. They are not the master. Okay, so servant of servant, that's a principle, because this is a basic thing. Now, irrespective of the mood of the Guru, his own taste and flavor. This is all common because this is all instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's all coming through Srila Rupa Goswami. So we are ultimately Rupanugas through Prabhupada Nugas. You can say via Prabhupada Nuga, we are Rupanugas. But this is a general instruction for all followers of Srila Rupa Goswami. One should never sit on the same level as a spiritual master unless one receives his permission. So just like Lord Krishna is non-different than his name or picture, similarly there is no difference between the spiritual master and his name and picture. Hence one should keep pictures of Guru and Krishna at proper place. One should not read books apart from those written by Guru and Parampara unless one has permission and blessings. So see, now this is also important to understand. One should not read books apart from those written by Guru and Parampara. So of course we give the first priority because see, being a part of the Sampradaya or the Parampara, we have to be loyal also. And this is how we show our loyalty, that the first priority is to our Gurujan, the Guru Parampara. And then if we have more time, then we can read the books of other Sampradayas or other books also. But of course, it should not hamper your Krishna consciousness. It should not confuse you. So that also has to be taken care of. And for that, you need to consult with your Guru, whether can I read this book or not? Because, we can do anything. We'll not even bother to inform anyone and we'll start doing things. But if you really want to advance in spiritual life, then loyalty has to be there. At the same time, we should also take proper blessings and permission from the Guru. If a Guru is non-envious, if a Guru is matured, then without any kind of grudges, without anything, he will bless you. Even though he may not have read the book, but still he'll say that, okay, please go ahead and continue. But if the Guru has some kind of, you can just imagine, how do you feel if the Guru has some anarthas? He's not free from lust, envy, anger, greed, pride, illusion. So you can imagine what will be his status. He will always try to compete with you. He will think that my disciple is going ahead than me. So all these kind of mentalities, thought processes, they are not qualified for becoming a Guru. So that's why Prabhupada says that Uttamadhikari should be selected as Guru. And of course, as I said, that see, ISKCON is a preaching movement. So you will not find Uttamadhikaris because the devotees are increasing in quantity throughout the world. And so many devotees, it's how can a Uttamadhikari, if there is only one Uttamadhikari or two Uttamadhikaris, or let's say there are 10 Uttamadhikaris, how 10 Uttamadhikaris can handle lakhs of devotees? It's impossible. So that's why you have to also assume that there will be a lot of Madhyamadhikaris. Okay, so you should not choose Kanishtadhikaris. And of course, in Kanishtadhikaris also, if that devotee is sincerely advancing, he is not criticizing, he's sincerely willing to go ahead, then that devotee is also, whoever is at a higher level than you, that devotee can help you. And if you cross that level, then other much more higher devotees can help you in that. So Krishna will always make that connection. Okay, you don't have to be concerned about that. The most important element of the Guru-disciple relationship is not about the qualification of the Guru. The qualification, you may get a Uttamadhikari, you may get Prabhupada as a Guru, but are you following the instruction of Prabhupada? Are you sincerely putting your best to give to Prabhupada? Because there were Prabhupada disciples who were very close to Prabhupada. Prabhupada said that there are, even the mosquito is very close. The mosquito is actually on my body, but the mosquito is biting me and they are giving pain to me. Whereas the devotees, there are disciples who have not even seen Prabhupada, but they are following the instruction of Prabhupada. So it all depends on the sincerity. Ultimately, it all boils down to the sincerity of the devotee, whether they would like to advance or not. And if you have that kind of mentality and desire, sincerity, then nothing in the world can stop you from achieving the topmost level of Krishna consciousness. The Lord will make all the arrangements. So it's all about Guru Tattva. And Guru Tattva is a universal application. It is not something which is local in nature. Okay. And that's how we have seen examples from the Bhagavatam also, where Vasishtha Muni falls down. There have been instances where Vasishtha Muni is cursing his disciple, that he is not going to attain perfection, but the disciple, because of his bhakti, he counteracts that curse and he is able to achieve perfection. There is another example where Vasishtha Muni curses another disciple to fall down from his position, and the disciple curses Vasishtha Muni because Vasishtha Muni is affected by greed. So Srila Prabhupada writes in the Purport that Vasishtha Muni actually deviated from his position of Guru, and that's why it was appropriate for Nimi Maharaj to curse him. Okay, because Nimi Maharaj was concerned about his perfection in this life, and that is absolutely the priority. So this is like the topmost thing. The Guru cannot become an obstacle for our Krishna consciousness. If he does, then he is to be rejected. And of course, there are etiquettes for doing that. So all these things in context with the Guru we have shared today. So what we can do, dealing with the seniors, we can continue with the next session, because I am assuming that if there are any questions or if there are any comments, maybe devotees have got some conceptions they would like to clear. So we'll stop here, and of course, if there are no questions, we'll continue. But if there are questions, then we'll take it. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. So you were telling about the milk, Prabhuji. This is always being running in the mind. Like I'm so kind of used to milk. It's hard for me to give up milk also. And at the same time, as you said, hearing lot of slaughter happening and abuse happening to the cows because of the milk. So what you said, what I heard from you is like as long as you offer it to the Lord and then consume it, there's no problem, because you're indirectly using cows to serve Lord. That's what you said. Can you please explain it more, Prabhuji? Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So one of the opinions of devotees on one side is that cows, of course, they are devotees of the Lord. So they are supposed to, we have to also think from the perspective of the cow's benefit. So in spite, okay, we accept that they should not be tortured, and we should try our best to give them that most favorable environment where they are very nicely taken care of and they are very much protected. But it does not mean that you stop drinking the cow's milk. You stop offering the cow's milk to the Lord, because what is the hope for the cow then? So in that sense, I think that's a valid opinion on one side. And of course, the most ideal thing is that we should protect the cows, we should care for them, we should have farms, and we should have A2 milks. That is the best option. But if somehow that is not available, if that option is not available easily and practically not possible in your area region, then I think it's okay, that you can offer the milk cow to the Lord and then you can consume that. So this is just one of the topics that devotees have different opinions. Like that, there is a female Diksha Guru, male Diksha Guru issue also is there. So that also, many devotees, they have different opinions on that. So like that, it's, yeah, we have so many topics like that.
Prabhuji, so what you said is A2 milk is produced without harming the cows or abusing the cows. Is that what you mean?
Yeah,
I didn't know this.
A2 milk is basically the milk which is coming from cows that are protected, taken care of.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about this. I heard
Yeah,
about
and
A2 milk, but not...
especially what I've heard is that these are all the desi cows.
Okay.
So
okay.
yeah. So there is a difference between different types of cows. So they say that these are like desi cows, which are like, and they are taken care of very nicely and all. So that's how we should prefer to have A2 milk.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Any other
Hare
questions?
Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat
Yes.
Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you for the very insightful class, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have a question regarding, the congregation around here where I am, Memphis, Tennessee. So many devotees who were very strong for 2 or 3 years, now though they were listening to lectures and coming to Bhakti Vriksha, now they're trying to take initiation from Premanand Maharaj in Vrindavan. So how can we see this, and should we, try to, convince them to stay with Srila Prabhupada or let them go and do what they want?
Yeah. So actually, the problem is that, see, first of all, I think it is a very great responsibility of all the leaders or whoever is cultivating or teaching all these devotees, that they, first of all, they have to read Srila Prabhupada books thoroughly, and they should also then go ahead and read Acharya books. Because one thing I would like to share from my experience is that you read Prabhupada books, but still you'll not be able to understand many things. This is, I have also discussed this with Srila Prabhupada disciples, and they all mutually they agree one thing, that even when we say that Prabhupada gave everything, of course Prabhupada gave the essence of everything. But when it comes to understanding a particular topic, then it's quite hard to just get everything from Srila Prabhupada's books. And you will not get everything from Prabhupada's books. You will have to refer to the works of the Acharyas to understand a particular topic. Because Srila Prabhupada himself has mentioned in his purports that please refer these books of the Acharyas in order to get deeper understanding. So now, unless we do it, unless we understand the entire Siddhant of Krishna consciousness thoroughly, and unless we are able to present to our devotees, of course they are going to look for much higher things in nature, because that kind of attraction is going to come from outside. So we need to make sure that whatever we are providing in ISKCON, it's like the top thing. We are giving the best thing, and there is nothing else superior to it. So one that thing has to be made sure that all devotees who are, unfortunately what is happening is many devotees, they may be fantastic preachers, they may be really very good in terms of connectivity, in terms of relation, but one thing I have noticed is that when it comes to reading of Prabhupada books, very extremely few devotees, they have read Prabhupada books and they have read the books of the Acharyas. So even Premanand Maharaj, because you have named him, and I've also heard his lectures. One thing, if you see, Premanand Maharaj also quotes Rup Goswami, Jeev Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, their works quite frequently. Okay. And what I understand is that whatever knowledge that Premanand Maharaj has, it's all coming from our Goswamis. In fact, I am currently reading Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur's biography, Bhakti Siddhanta Vaibhav, and Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur has clearly mentioned one thing, that all the other sampradayas, they have got their influence from Gaudiya Sampradaya. And that's a reality, because the tattva of Radharani, the tattva of gopis, the tattva of Krishna's pastimes, the tattva of the Nam, the tattva of the Dham, it's all elaborately described in our Acharya books. Excellent, brilliant commentaries they have given. You will not get it anywhere else, and you will not find it in any other sampradaya. So whatever all these sampradayas, acharyas, they are doing, they are quoting from ultimately they're quoting from our Goswamis only. Okay. So there is nothing which is lacking in our Gaudiya Sampradaya. That is what I would like to say. So one thing is that you have to be responsible, that you have to give the best thing to the devotees. And that's why Prabhupada also said that you don't have to just you don't have to just keep adding water in the milk to expand it. But now it's a time you have to thoroughly boil the milk, so that the quality of the milk will always be maintained. Okay. And if you maintain the quality, you will get quality like that. So that's one thing. Second thing is that in spite of all these things, if someone gets attracted to some other personality or sampradaya, we cannot do anything about it. We cannot control them. It's their choice. We can inform them that this is the goal that you can achieve via following Gaudiya Sampradaya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sampradaya. And if you follow this Sampradaya, you will get this goal. Okay. So like that, we can make them aware that this is what you will achieve. if now, in spite of all these things, if they would like to continue, they can continue. Ultimately, it's their own natural choice. And one thing, but we have to be also, one thing we can inform them, that if you take Diksha in a bona fide Sampradaya, and then you reject that Diksha, and then take Diksha in another Sampradaya, then that's also considered to be an offense. So we have to inform them that, this is what the philosophy is about. And, if you reject the bona fide guru and a parampara, and if you go to another parampara and take diksha from there again, it's actually offensive in one sense. So one may take siksha, if they are attracted to that particular sampradaya, they may take siksha from there, but they cannot take diksha again. So that's according to the etiquettes. It's considered to be offense like that. So I hope it makes sense, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. So, they are, now that they are listening so much from Premanand Maharaj, they want to sing Radharani Kirtan most of the time. So, what should we do about that? Should we not allow them to sing, or, Radharani is our worshipable goddess
It's
is
very
also.
clear. It's very clear. They will have to make a decision. If they would like to, ultimately, every devotee has their own choice. Everyone has their own free will and choice. If they would like to be connected to Premanand Maharaj Sampradaya, then please go ahead. We have no issues about it. Be loyal to that Sampradaya. That is the point. Don't jump here and there. Once you are convinced, see, a devotee has to take good amount of time to understand the philosophy, the goal that the particular sampradaya is offering, and then they have to make a very mature decision, which particular sampradaya, which particular philosophy, which particular guru, who is attracting me the most, and then accordingly they can follow that. As far as the lineage of the Harivam Sampradaya is concerned, like connected, what I have heard is that actually Hit Harivansh was a disciple of Gopal Bhatt Goswami. But like ultimately something happened and he was rejected. And then he repented and then he begged forgiveness from Gopal Bhatt Goswami. And then that's how the Sampradaya started. Something like that I have heard. Okay. So now if we see from this perspective, then Hit Harivam Sampradaya is basically a part of Gaudiya Sampradaya because he's actually the disciple of Gopal Bhatt Goswami. Okay, but maybe they don't agree on that. They don't accept that. They have their own version of it. So we don't know that. But one version that is accepted in the entire Gaudiya Vaishnavism is that he was actually a disciple of Gopal Bhatt Goswami. And he was rejected, but then finally later on, he repented and then he begged forgiveness from Gopal Bhatt Goswami and then he was accepted, something like that. This is what I've heard. Okay. So so you need to educate them that, okay, if you get connected to Srimad, ask them what destination you are going to achieve. Ask them what is your final position that you're going to achieve. Like for example, in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sampradaya, we have got Parakya Ras as the topmost. We have got Madhurya Ras as the topmost. And even in Madhurya Ras, we are giving Parakya Ras the greatest emphasis because that creates a very deep level of prem for the Lord. Okay. At the same time, we are not only talking about Sambhog, we are talking about Vipralamba. Okay, we are talking about separation from the Lord. And we are not saying that there is only Vipralamba. Of course, Vipralamba, if there is only Vipralamba, it does not make sense at all because then there is no Sambhog. And the entire goal of Vipralamba is to enhance your Sambhog. So when you have the highest level of Vipralamba, you get the highest level of Sambhog. And when you have the highest level of Sambhog, then you can also get the highest level of Vipralamba. So it will all nourish your Vipralamba and Sambhog both each other mutually. So in order to do that, there will be the other rasas also, which will be in Vraj. So there will be Vatsala Ras, there will be Sakhya Ras, there will be Dasya Ras also. And these are the devotees who separate Krishna, who take Krishna away from the gopis at particular times in the day. Okay, where they can actually experience Veera Bhav. But then again, the gopis, they unite with Krishna. And similarly, the Sakhya devotees, they also unite and they also separate from Krishna. So every devotee in Vraj, they have got this Veera and Sambhog. Okay, so you need to also know whether this sampradaya is going to, whether they are emphasizing on Vira or they are only emphasizing on Sambhog. What I've heard is that Premanand Maharaj Sampradaya, they only focus on Sambhog, and that only on Madhurya Ras. They don't emphasize so much on the other rasas in Braj. So the concept of Vira and Parakiya, this is not something which is emphasized. This is what I have heard as of now. Okay. So that all these things you need to check in which sampradaya what do you get. Like for Nimbarka sampradaya, what I've heard is that they emphasize on Swakiya Ras instead of Parakiya. Okay, so of course we understand from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and our Goswamis that Parakiya Ras is the highest because it creates a lot of obstacles in prema. Now just imagine if you get married to your beloved, then the excitement and everything is over. Once you get married, then you take things for granted. So there is no much excitement, no obstacles in your relationships. It's all like, okay, I've got married to this person, so whether I spend time or not, whether I show my enthusiasm in the relationship or not, does not matter because this person is going to be with me only forever throughout the life. So that kind of relationship will actually create some kind of, it will suppress the emotions. But if you consider Parakiya Ras, that will actually create a lot of obstacles, and it will create a lot of separation. And because of that separation, your intensity of attaining the Lord will always keep on increasing. So you need to understand all these things from the Ras point of view also, what ultimate destination you are going to get. Okay. So then you also need to understand what is the meaning of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, because people, they minimize the position of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. They don't understand what is the significance. There are so many hidden meanings of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Now why we have 16 words in the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra? There is a reason for that. Why do we have Hare Krishna and Ram? There is a reason for that. Why do we have the mantra in pairs? There is a reason for that. Our acharyas, they have explained everything. It's all connected to Parakiya Ras. Like for example, now instead of naming directly Radhe Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Sham, Sham Sham, Radhe Radhe, why do we have to say Hare Krishna and Hare Rama? Because the acharyas, what I've heard is that basically the Gaudiya Sampradaya, they have given a lot of emphasis on Manjari Bhav, Manjari Upasana, maid servant of Srimati Radharani. Okay, so when maid servants of Radharani, they have more affection for Radha than Shri Krishna. Okay, so when they are chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, what is happening is, because it's a Parakiya Ras, so Parakiya means that you cannot openly name in front of everyone, in front of the entire village, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. If you openly call out like that, then everyone will understand that they have some lafda, they have some relationship. But if you disclose that, if you cover that relationship, then it becomes Parakiya. What are you exactly saying? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare. Now the Vrajvasis, they will not even understand, because one thing is that, okay, Krishna is there. Now Hare can mean Hari also, and Ram can mean Balram also. So when the Manjaris, they are calling out Hare Krishna Maha Mantra aloud, so people may think that they are actually taking the name of Krishna and Balram, or they are taking the names of Lord Narayan or Vishnu or Krishna, like that, right? So, but the Manjaris, it's a secret code for them. So only they know that actually they are calling Radharani and Krishna because they want to unite them, right? So this is the secret of the Hare Krishna. Why this Hare Krishna and Ram? Because it does not indicate in any sense directly the name of Radharani along with Krishna. So Krishna is there, but then Hare, it's not necessary it means Radharani. It can mean Hari also, like that, right? So that's how we need to understand these things. And then of course the pair, why do we have 16 words? Because Krishna's pastimes, they appear in 8-fold daily pastimes of the day. So that's why the pair is there. Hare Krishna, and so 16 words means 8 pairs. And 8 is Ashtakalya Lila of the Lord throughout the day. Okay.
Swami,
And that's why we
Prabhuji,
have
can
16
you,
words.
sorry, Prabhuji, to interrupt, can you repeat that, please, 8 times?
Yeah. So Hare Krishna Maha Mantra has got 16 words, right? And when you consider in pair, it becomes 8 pairs. Hare Krishna, because we are always calling out Radha Shyam Sundar together. We don't call individually, separately. Okay. So that becomes a pair. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. It becomes 8 pairs. Now this 8 pair corresponds to the Ashtakalya Leela of the Lord throughout the 8-fold pastimes in a day. So there are 8 divisions of time in the time span of one day that the Lord is enacting his pastime in the spiritual world. So each and every pair is indicating one particular Leela of the Lord in the spiritual world. So that's why we have 16 words, because someone may say that, why don't you have only Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, like that? Why do you have Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, like 16 words? Why do you have that much long Maha Mantra, right? So everything has a reason. So these are all, see, unless and until you read the books of the Acharyas, you will not be able to explain to them all these principles. So you need to convince them thoroughly, why this sampradaya gives you the topmost thing. Then probably they will consider, okay, this is what we are supposed to follow. But in spite of all these things, if they still are attracted, then we cannot do anything. And then, of
Thank
course,
you so much, Prabhuji.
one more reasoning is that you need to also see the future of the sampradaya. Now, Premanand Maharaj is the one, he's one person currently. But what about after Premanand Maharaj? Do they have a proper parampara? They have a proper acharya that he can carry the legacy of Premanand Maharaj? That's another thing. In ISKCON, we have an organization. We have hundreds of gurus. If one guru will fall down, then you can take shelter of 99 other gurus. And that parampara, that tradition will continue forever. Because it's an organization. The organization is designed in such a way that it will continue forever. Right? So now, but Premanand Maharaj, he's going to live for some time. And after that, what will happen? Who is going to be equal as Premanand Maharaj? And then, of course, we also see from the angle of Guru Sadhu Shastra, what is their scripture? What is their reference? If they are quoting from Chaitanya Charitamrita, if they are quoting from Goswamis, then they are basically what they are doing is they are quoting from Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Everything is coming from Gaudiya Vaishnavism. So we have to see all this. That's why Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, he said very strongly that all these other sampradayas, they are influenced by Gaudiya Sampradaya. Even Vallabha Sampradaya also, Srinathji's Vallabha Sampradaya, Vallabha Charya Sampradaya, Nimbarka Charya Sampradaya, they have got some influence from Gaudiya Sampradaya in terms of Raganuga Bhakti or worship of Radha Shyam Sundar, Radha Krishna, like that. Yeah, so these are like some of the points that we can present to them.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Again, it must have happened because they are listening to those lectures on YouTube more, and then they got influenced. But I can bring up these points with them before they, take the plunge. And then if they do, then we are a small community here. So should we intermingle with them, or like it'll be bad to say you cannot come to the program and all, right? So how can we?
See, they may of course anyone is welcome to visit, but they cannot influence others, because that is very clear. You cannot, when we are preaching, then we are presenting a particular philosophy. We are presenting a loyalty to our acharyas also. So you are most welcome to join, but you cannot influence others. You can keep it to yourself. If you want inspiration, of course you can. There are no devotees around, only ISKCON devotees are around. Like I recently had gone to Amritsar, so there were devotee family. So the parents were they took diksha from Hit Harivamsh. They took diksha from the Bakhe Bihari Sampradaya, and the daughters they took diksha from Hit Harivamsh, Premanand Maharaj Sampradaya. Okay, but they were like last 10 years they have been attending each and every program which is conducted by ISKCON devotees. Okay, now they don't have any association, they don't have their own god brothers and families there. So that's why, of course, their only dependence is on the ISKCON devotees. So that's why they don't bother about that so much. They don't influence people. They have a lot of appreciation and regards for ISKCON also. But the moment they start taking away, devotees, like they start influencing, then this is something that we cannot allow. So that we have to be very clear with them that, okay, we are taking the effort, we are doing everything. So, we'll present this much. And if you want, you can create your own group. You can create your own Sangha. You can preach yourself individually. But you cannot take the platform of ISKCON and then get people to you. So this is something that we can always do.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So should we allow them to, again, if we don't allow them to do lectures, but is it okay for them to lead kirtan? And then they usually, have their kirtan sometimes, Radha Radha kirtan. Is that okay?
Generally not recommended. We must emphasize on Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And if they are willing to do Hare Krishna Mahamantra, sometimes it is okay. 1 or 2 times, like, if you have, like, let's say every day you are doing kirtan, but once in a month, if you allow them. But again, the problem is that as soon as they start doing some different kirtan, of course, there will be devotees or people outside, they will go to them and they will ask them that, Are, acha, you are belonging to this sampradaya. Then gradually the discussion will start, and it's possible that they may get diverted. So
Yes.
in all these contexts, I think we need to be very strict that, yeah, okay, you are most welcome to understand our philosophy. You are most welcome to participate. And if you have appreciation, then it is good. But will not be able to allow you to share your, this thing with others. Then you can do yourself. So they have to be loyal. They have to cultivate the quality of loyal to ISKCON devotees or ISKCON philosophy. If they do that, then it is good, and they keep it to themselves, their philosophy or their way of worship. It is okay. But if they divert people, then of course it can be a disservice also.
So, Prabhuji, are we talking of initiated devotees here who are wanting to move to Premananda Maharaj?
No, they were very close to initiation. They even took sankalpa of who their guru should be and all that. And then somehow, I think they listened to so many lectures on YouTube every day, and then they got influenced. And also, I think it is simpler. They don't have to do 16 rounds and all that. So they're choosing kind of getting close to that.
Yeah. That's also a good point. That ISKCON is very thorough in that. It's like 16 rounds minimum after initiation. So see, that's how, no, people, they want easy way also. And they, especially Indians, they are much more on a sentimental platform because they want easy things at the quickest, the whatever they would like to achieve should be quick, very easy, and they want the topmost guru, although they themselves may not be following, but just for the namesake, oh, my Maharaj, my guru is Premanand Maharaj, because everyone will offer respect to them, everyone will appreciate them. So name and fame, because of that desire to achieve quick success in spiritual life or to get easy access, all these are the reasons why they will probably not take from ISKCON.
But Prabhuji, you also mentioned that loyalty is very important. So if somebody has already taken initiation in another sampradaya, then they cannot change it, right? They can add some parts.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, the thing is that, see, the problem is, I will tell you what is practical reality. The practical reality is that ISKCON is a preaching movement, and for preaching, we are also giving initiation very early. To be honest, that should not be done at all. You cannot give initiation to someone who is not even matured, who has not even understood the Siddhant properly. So these things were, the Prabhupada started it, he gave very leisurely. that time Prabhupada was only the Acharya. There were no other influence of any other sampradaya. Prabhupada was like the and only Acharya that time. In terms of cultivating Krishna consciousness in the Western world, later on, many devotees also started coming up. But see, this is a reality. If you give initiation early, then you will face all these consequences because the devotees are not going to be matured. And I don't think it's their mistake also, because they thought at that point of time they thought that okay, this is the part for them, or this is something which is attractive. But then later on, after getting matured enough, they may realize that, oh well, this is what attracts us. So, but that decision has to be very mature. After changing the sampradaya, you cannot say that, oh, I think this sampradaya also does not work for me, let me change another. So that kind of thing will not, shopping is not allowed. So you may take the decision immaturely once or twice, but not the third time. So this is what we need to understand. But yes, if you are already taken initiation, then it's like you don't need to give up that. You cannot reject that. That is also something that they need to keep in mind. You cannot reject that. But the problem is that now practically, if you see, there have been there are devotees who have taken diksha from their gurus, and the gurus they had fallen down in ISKCON, and then later on they took diksha again. Or there are some devotees whom I know, they took diksha from Sri Sampradaya, but then because they got attracted to ISKCON, then they finally they had to come to take shelter of ISKCON diksha process, because the problem is that when you let's assume that a devotee is coming from outside, they are joining ISKCON, they're taking diksha in ISKCON, right? Now, what will be the consequence? Unless that devotee does not take diksha in ISKCON, you will always doubt that devotee. The devotees have a tendency to criticize, judge. So the other devotees, they will always tell him that, okay, you are not taking diksha from us. How can we trust you? How can we say that you are loyal to our sampradaya? So there will be so many devotees who will keep asking about, because one of the, you can say that one of the qualifications that you judge a devotee is that whether that devotee is, initiated. Or you can also, at least one thing we know, whichever devotee is initiated, at least they are chanting 16 rounds, they are following regular principles. So that gives some kind of assurance and trust. But if a devotee does not take initiation, then you will always have this doubt in mind. So in order for the general public to accept you in that particular sampradaya, they finally take diksha from that sampradaya. So it's fine then. What can be done? The practical, the real scenario. As I was sharing earlier, that these all details are there in the past. So in the current scenario, you cannot apply it exactly as it is. There's needs some kind of adjustment also, because now it has become a preaching movement. Now, what to speak of ISKCON? Other Sampradaya people also, they are coming on YouTube and they are starting their channels and they are preaching to the entire world, because you are giving access to everyone now. So in that sense, so many of them are becoming preachers. Earlier only ISKCON was preaching, but now there are so many who are coming and preaching. So all these challenges will be there, like that.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Yeah, after hearing the discussion, what was going, and Vamsi Vilas Prabhu asked this question. Actually, I remember long time back, it was not recently, but it was like 10 years back. I was at one of the home programs, and those all were like Gopal Krishna Maharaj's senior disciples, in the program. And something happened, like after the program, there was discussion, based on different sampradayas, or maybe different topic, like how just now Prabhu mentioned about Premananda Maharaj. So, like then after, like there was some argument, discussions within another two devotees, and then one of the senior disciples stood there and he clearly mentioned, Prabhupada has given everything to us, the exact way to back home to Godhead. So why to, just waste our time in discussing something else? But again, when it comes to taking name of Radharani, it is not a problem. Respecting those things is not a problem. But when you come for the program, Srila Prabhupada's program, or the Sankirtan moment, then, it has to be the same. Please concentrate, read Prabhupada's book, the same thing what you mentioned. I just try to add this, even senior devotees from our community will definitely support ISKCON movement, which is real in practice. And that's what, like, when ISKCON get it done by the neophytes, or done by the even who are already the devotees, they try to make them, give them so many services, so many classes, so many teachings, so many books. So, it is a practice which makes you perfect, and Brahmana becomes perfect, and Brahmana is a so-called Brahmana or a pure Brahmana when he himself practiced those things. So that's what they mentioned, and then it was convinced for both of them. You know, that's what. So I just wanted to highlight this. So quality,
So
one has
that
to have the
that
quality.
other sampradaya was Narsimha Mehta, or some Gujarati saint, famous saint. So you might know Prabhuji about that.
Yeah,
They
so
were
he,
discussing, like, about something different which was not related to ISKCON, and it is not like ISKCON, but whatever Prabhupada has given, it has given through the scriptures, our holy scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Nothing is out of that. No one is telling. Prabhupada never, mention anything from his own mind. It was through the scriptures, based on our scriptures. So even what we chant, it is from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what has given to us. So yeah, so reading Prabhupada's book will
It's
definitely
authentic.
purify and
That you
clear
mean
all
to say
the
it's
doubts.
authentic, right? You meant to say.
Yeah. So, and we are following Madhva Gadya Sampradaya. So that is our main gist. That is the correct path. Yeah, that's what I wanted to mention. I hope Vamsi will also well. So
Yes, Prabhuji, that's very important point. These people who are wanting to leave, they don't have relationship with Prabhupada. If they lead Prabhupada's Leelamrita and the hardships he took for all of us, they will not leave. So I think preaching should be very important to stress on Srila Prabhupada initially, so that everybody has a relationship with him and they don't feel like they can go elsewhere.
yeah, that's very important. Once you get emotionally connected to a great personality, then you don't generally leave. So yes,
Prabhuji,
and
even those people what you mentioned, feed them, give prashadam, tell them, give free books, make sure that they uh, come closer by some or the other way. I know, like this, uh, what is the name? What you mentioned?
Premanand
Yeah,
Maharaj.
Premananda Maharaj. His videos are so active. So many things are going on. So, but the philosophy, as Prabhuji mentioned, after Premananda Maharaj, who, there is a question, but ISKCON, like, we don't have that problem. We have the philosophy, we have the Acharya, and we follow. Our hierarchy is right from Krishna, Brahma, Narada, and then so many Acharyas, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Prabhupada, and then our Guru Maharaja. So it's a hierarchy, and we are following the exact and accurate path. Like, if I want to go to New York, I will follow the GPS one exact route. Otherwise, if I don't follow that, I may go to some other town, or I will miss somewhere. So, one has to follow the sampradaya. That's what. There are 4 sampradayas. So those
Authentic
are
path, you know.
authenticate. So that's it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can you please explain more on that Parikyaras? You were talking about Manjaris. They were saying Hare Krishna, but no one could understand that there's Radha Rani's name. So I didn't understand that properly. Can you, like, there's no wrong in knowing that they're chanting Radharani's name too. So like, I'm like, I didn't understand. Can you please explain it?
Yeah. See, if you want to hide the love of Radha and Krishna, because once you are a maid servant of Radharani and you'd like to unite Radha and Krishna, in spite of Radharani being married to Abhimanyu or some other Gopa, she is not married to Krishna, right? So this is a Parikya. Now, when you try to unite them, so that time you cannot directly openly mention the name of Radha and Krishna. You'll
Okay,
try
now
to
I got it.
yeah, like that.
Mm.
So that's why Hare Krishna and Rama. They don't directly say Radha Krishna.
Oh, okay. Now I got it, Prabhuji. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. And yeah, so the thing is that, of course, Prabhupada's personality has to be brought in the forefront, as Prabhuji was sharing. And at the same time, see, we may say that we have got everything in Prabhupada books, or we may also say that okay, we are in a bona fide parampara. But they will also say the same thing for their parampara. They will also probably trace a parampara. In fact, if you know, there is also very from outside of our parampara, there are some parampara that's like for example, let's take the example of Madhva parampara. Now, Madhva parampara, they to say that ISKCON is not part of our sampradaya. The Gaudiya is a different part only. Somehow, Gaudiya Vaishnavas say that we are part of Madhvacharya sampradaya, but they don't believe like that. Earlier used to be like that, but recently the Pejawar Mat Swami, he was the one who actually came in the forefront and he actually started appreciating ISKCON, and he said that no, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself and Gaudiya is a part of Madhva. But other prior to him, they were all saying that how can ISKCON say there is no, see, when do you have a parampara? When you accept the teachings of the parampara as it is. But Madhva parampara teachings, if you consider, they are nowhere close to Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya Siddhant. In fact, Ramanujacharya Sampradaya, little bit you'll find closer. Okay. But so how is it connected? You are not even the Diksha mantra also, if you consider from both angles, if you consider from Diksha and Siksha, from both ways, we are nowhere close to Madhva parampara. Because the Diksha mantra that we are getting is completely different. It's Panchratrik Diksha mantra, that is also worship of Radha and Krishna. Then there is the Siksha, if you consider from that point of view, Siksha is totally different. It is not nowhere close to. So Madhavendra Prabhu is the one who actually connected us to Lakshmipati Tirth, the Madhva Sampradaya. But it's an offshoot in one sense. So like that, these were all challenges. Even the time of Baldev Vidyabhushan, whose disappearance just went away just recently. So you must have heard, if you have heard about his glories, one of the most popular incidents that Baldev Vidyabhushan faced is that Ramanand Sampradaya, they went against the worship of Radha and Krishna. And they said that they claim that now Ramananda is a Ramanuja, North Indian Ramanuja branch Sampradaya. Okay, so they claimed that Radha Krishna worship itself is bogus, and your Sampradaya itself is bogus because it's not connected to Madhva Sampradaya. And then they also said that your Sampradaya cannot be established because it does not have commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. So we need to be thoroughly aware of all these things. See, the problem is that devotees are there, do not even understand what is Diksha, what is first initiation, meaning of first initiation, second initiation. Are you are not getting Harinam. Harinam is already given to you. In the first initiation, you are not getting Harinam. Harinam, you have been chanting 16 notes every day. After that, you got Diksha, Harinam. And this is not even Diksha. It is just something to encourage you, to inspire you to chant with regulative principles and to follow with vow and dedication. But real Diksha is the second initiation. And what is the actual definition of Diksha? Diksha means Divya Jnanam and Shayati. Shayati means destruction of sins. And that Divya Jnanam is the Jnana of the deities that you are supposed to worship in the mantra when you are chanting. So if ISKCON devotees, they don't even know about these things and they have spent 10-15 years, then see this, you cannot say that, then you cannot say that Prabhupada gave everything. You need to also prove to the devotees that how Prabhupada gave everything. Then for that, you have to also be able to quote Shastras and Acharyas. Because what Prabhupada has given us, he's repeating the entire philosophy, is repeating of the Acharyas and the Goswamis. He's not giving something new to us. So then you need to make sure that each and every, see, that's why Prabhupada said repeatedly that study my books thoroughly, scrutinizingly, deeply, with different perspectives, different angles of vision. You know, it's so important. I mean, you at least this is, see, if you want to chant the holy name purely, you know, one thing which is the necessity to chant the holy name purely is that you need to chant with Sambandh Gyan. And that Sambandh Gyan is the most essential thing. Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur says that you cannot give up your anarthas unless you chant with Sambandh Gyan, unless you understand Sambandh Gyan, unless you learn about Sambandh Gyan. It's not possible. So what is that Sambandh Gyan? It's not just about knowing that, okay, I am part and parcel of Krishna. I am Amsha of Krishna. I'm meant to supposed to love and serve Krishna. Okay, that is theoretical. But then, you know, what is this Diksha? What are you following? What is your Sampradaya? Is it bona fide, not bona fide? This is all proper Sambandh Gyan that you need to understand. So your conviction in the process will grow, and automatically you will always be able to convince others. So we have to always see, one cannot claim that one knows everything, one understood everything, but one has to make an attempt to understand all these things. That's why Chaitanya Charitamrita also, Mahaprabhu says that devotees cannot make an excuse to get away with Siddhanta. They cannot be lazy. If they become lazy, then they are not going to attain the perfection. Okay, so every devotee has to be, you know, they must come to this point where they have to become thorough with understanding at least the tattva and the basic principles that are required to defend our sampradaya. Otherwise, they will, what outside people will say, ISKCON devotees, they cannot explain things and they don't know, first of all, that how, and another claim from outsiders, you know what they say? This sampradaya that we are talking about, Sri Kumar and then Nimbark Sampradaya and the Padma Puran Shlok, it is there, that all the 4 sampradayas, they have their base at Utkal, Odisha. They are saying that where it is written in Padma Puran, show me the shloka, because that shlok itself has disappeared. It's not there in the current version of Padma Puran. So they say where this slok is there. Why do we accept, why do we believe that these four sampradayas are the only bona fide sampradayas? So all these things, you know, at least we have to understand certain things which are very important, that you can defend your sampradaya, you can defend yourself. And there are things that we also need to see. We also have anarthas. So we need to convince ourselves also. It's not that we are doing paropkar. We are not transcendental. We are not on the level of bhava and prem that we, you know, Prabhupada, you know, one time a disciple wrote a letter to Prabhupada and he wrote that, Prabhupada, you know, preaching is so nice and, you know, to save others is so nice. You know, it is such a good, wonderful experience. Prabhupada wrote back to that devotee. He said that it's good, you know, that preaching is, you are doing preaching and you are getting good experience. It's an important thing that you preach. But Prabhupada said, but the most important thing is to save oneself. So he writes exactly the word that he is using is that it's good realization that you should try to save others. But the highest realization is to save oneself. So internal cultivation of devotee is extremely important. Otherwise, everything becomes external. It is all just, we just want appreciation from others. That's it. That we are doing so much. Everyone is seeing our seva, this, that. What about internal cultivation? That's the best gift that you can give to the Guru. There is a Leela of Bhaktivedanta Thakur that I will share in the next class. Very important. You know, Vani and Vapu. So he says that Vani is most important because internally you are connecting to the Guru. You are not connecting to the Guru externally. There are so many disciples of Prabhupada who left ISKCON because they were just connected to the Vapu. They never got connected to the Vani. Vani means Prabhupada's Siksha, basically. What he gave in the books, how, you know, the understanding of the entire philosophy of Krishna consciousness, like that. So these things are very important, you know, and even if you do not have the time, then extremely important to invite devotees who have the knowledge and who can share, and properly understand the principles, and to ask questions and to get it clarified and to remember it also, so that you can, your conviction can grow and you can also convince others like that. So this is very important. When so I had a long discussion with all these the devotees I am talking about when I went to Amritsar. So they invited me to their house because I was giving a series of classes. They invited me, and the first thing when I went inside the house, the Prabhuji, he told me, who is basically who took Diksha from Bake Bihari Sampradaya, हरिदास जी. So he told me कि आपके परंपरा में, आपके इस्कॉन में राधा रानी के बारे में को तो कुछ होता ही नहीं है. तो आई इमीडिएटली करेक्टेड हिम कि प्रभु, हमारा पूरा गौड़िया संप्रदाय का मीनिंग ही दैट फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी इज राधा रानी, नथिंग एल्स. इनफैक्ट वी द हाईएस्ट गोल ऑफ द संप्रदाय इज टू बिकम अ मेड सर्वेंट ऑफ राधा रानी और सखी ऑफ राधा रानी. इसके अलावा हमारा, और इनफैक्ट मधुर रस जो है वो सबसे ऊपर है. ये सब जो जितने भी दूसरे रस है वो सिर्फ मधुर रस को असिस्ट करते हैं. सो एंड देन उनको मैंने ये भी समझाया कि परकीय रस जो है हमारा उससे भी ऊपर है मधुर रस में. परकीय रस और स्वकीय के बीच में मैंने समझाया, तो दे वर अस्टाउंडेड बिकॉज दे डिडंट न्यू. कोई बताने वाला ही नहीं था. इतने टाइम से वो अटेंड कर रहे हैं जहाँ पे वो उन लोग कथा कर रहे हैं वो ग्रुप में. नो वन इज शेयरिंग ऑल दीज थिंग्स. नो वन इज मेकिंग देम अंडरस्टैंड द शास्त्र. So then what will be the consequence? Devotees will not know only. That's why Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur also says that after a span of 10-15 years, devotees, they should know what is Ashkalya Lila, because Ashkalya Lila belongs to us. Others are stealing that Ashkalya Lila from us. In other words, what he means to say is that they are using Ashkalya Lila for their own sense gratification, but we know the value of Ashkalya Lila. What is that? It is the topmost jewel. And someone who is extremely pure, thoroughly purified, only they can speak about Ashkalya Lila. So devotees, they must know all these things after a span of 10-15 years. Otherwise, the substance is, there is nothing inside. Only outside is there. That's it. So it's very important to have internal cultivation. That. And for that, it is absolutely necessary to destroy all the doubts that we have. And if someone comes and asks you something, if you don't know the answer, it's a wonderful opportunity we have that now, okay, let me clarify, because someone asked me and I don't know that. It's a very important thing. So let me clarify it instantly. So you see, all the most popular devotees that you see on YouTube from ISKCON, you know what is common in that, in all of these devotees? They are, every day they are spending a lot of time reading Prabhupada books and books of the Acharya. That's how they have become thorough and very popular, because they are able to give that kind of knowledge to others. So this is the only way that you can actually make a lot of advancement. Very, very important. So of course, one can fall down even after that. One can become very scholarly and one can debate. One can think that one has become superior to the Guru or superior to some others. So that kind of mentality has to be curbed down. We have to always check. We should always know that Shastra has to teach us humility at the end of the day. It cannot make us proud. So that thing we have to always keep in mind. But it's the greatest service. In one of the lectures of Bhakti Charu Maharaj, he told all the devotees openly in one lecture that the greatest service you can render to ISKCON is to read books of the Acharyas and Prabhupada. That's the greatest service that you can actually render. So all other services, they become secondary, because then only you understand the process. Krishna consciousness is a process. It does not, so no matter how many rounds you chant, no matter how much services you do, ultimately if you don't follow the process, it will be like firing a gun without the bullet inside. This is what Prabhupada says. So we have to follow the process, and part of that process is to understand all these things. I hope it makes sense to all the devotees.
Yes, Prabhuji. And also, I was saying, like, for these, ISKCON means International Society of Krishna Consciousness.
Krishna consciousness, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Krishna consciousness means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because Chit consciousness is Chaitanya. So, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Srimati Radharani. So hidden meaning is we are, worshippers of Srimati Radharani. And,
yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yes. In fact, the reason we take the name of Krishna, we say Krishna, Krishna, Krishna like that. We don't say Radha, Radha, Radha every time. Prabodhanand Saraswati Thakur has given the reason behind this. Okay, he's saying that why we are taking the name of Krishna is not that because we are attached to Krishna more than Radharani. We are attached to Radharani more, and in order to please Radharani, that's why we are taking more the name of, we are calling out Krishna, Krishna like that. But actually, if you see, the entire goal of serving Krishna is to please Srimati Radharani. Because if you love Radharani more, then you will please her more. And how she can be pleased to the max? If you do everything for her beloved, then she will be pleased. That's why Hare Krishna, see, we have both names, because it's not only Radharani. If you only chant Radharani, that will please Krishna more than Radharani. But if you chant Krishna's name, that will please Radharani more. And we have both names, so they both will be satisfied together. So that will give a more mercy. Rather than just chanting Radharani, Radha, Radhe, Radhe, Radhe karke, right? Yes. So this is also the understanding and reasoning behind why we have the Yugal mantra. It is not just the name of Radharani. Radha, you cannot separate Radharani from Krishna. So it has to be in pair. It's not like, so all these, all the valid reasons are there. Why do we have Hare Krishna Maha Mantra as such?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Beautiful point, Prabhuji, that you're chanting it together. You're not separating Radha and Krishna, and how you please Radha Rani by chanting Krishna, and how you please Krishna by chanting Radha Rani. Like, a wonderful explanation, Prabhuji. Like, valid point when someone asks, like,
that's the reason. See, that's the reason we are doing Bhagavad Shravanam, because Bhagavad is about Krishna, right? So it's like everything that we do, either Harinam Sankirtan or Bhagavad Shravanam, or we are serving the deities. It's basically centered around Krishna. And the reason for that, it is not that because we are inclined towards Krishna, because we want to please Radharani. That's the ultimate goal. Okay. Another thing I will tell you is that, see, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is a conceptual mantra, which means that when Radharani is chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, for her, the entire words, 16 words, they all manifest as Krishna. So Hare means Krishna, Krishna means Krishna, Hare again means Krishna, Ram means Krishna for her. So all the 16 words, they manifest as Krishna for her when she is chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. When Krishna chants Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, all Hare Krishna, all 16 words, they manifest as Radharani. So Hare means, of course, Radharani. Krishna, there is a pastime where Radharani took the disguise of Krishna. She dressed like Krishna. She looked like Krishna, and that's why she is called Krishna. So Krishna here refers to Radharani. Right? Like that, Ram, why Ram refers to Radharani? Because she gives pleasure to Krishna. So whoever gives pleasure is called Ram. And that's how in this context, because Ram means Radharani who gave pleasure to Krishna. That's why when Krishna is chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, then Ram means Radharani. Krishna means Radharani. So for Radhesham, it is a conceptual thing. Now when Manjaris chant or the Sakhis chant, so for them they are both equally important. Manjaris, for the Manjaris, Radharani is more important, but they know that the best thing that will please Radharani is Krishna. So what they do when they chant Hare Krishna, for them Hare means Radharani and Krishna means Krishna. It becomes a Yugal mantra. So for the devotees, it's a Yugal mantra. For Radharani, it is only the names of Krishna. And from Shyam Sundar, it is only the names of Radharani. Okay. So everything has been explained by our acharyas. Nothing is left out.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I'm trying to understand Parikiya Pras. I understood in the point of Manjaris, but like highest stress is Parikiya Ras, you said. Like, I'm like neophyte to ask this, and I'm not even qualified to ask this question also. But I'm like just curious. I want to know and trying to understand, like, what is that, like, what does it mean in our case, the Parikiya Ras?
Yeah, so Parikya, in the material world, we are basically when we worship Radha and Krishna, so it is an internal cultivation. Like, first of all, a devotee, when they start doing sadhana bhakti, then they realize if they follow the process properly without aparadhs, they come to a certain stage where they will realize that they are a particular devotee in Braj Leela, and they are supposed to follow a particular associate in Braj Leela. Like, for example, if you develop the feelings of sentiments of a gopi, then you are in Madhurya Ras. But which gopi you are supposed to follow in that? Because if you want to attain Vraj, then you have to follow in the footsteps of the Vrajvasis. Without that, it is not possible. So, which gopi you are following in Vraj in order to achieve that goal? So that all has to be revealed to you. It's not something you can make up. That sentiment has to come naturally within your heart. So once you know that, okay, I am attracted to a particular set of pastimes which are all in Madhurya Ras, it means that, okay, you are in Madhurya Ras. The next step is that now which particular mood is attracting you. There are different types of manjaris, different types of sakhis. So which exactly mood, which sakhi is inspiring you? Then you start following. Then you will get more details of your rasa, how exactly you will be. So finally, then you will start cultivating internally the meditation of worshipping Radha and Krishna in Parikeras, which means that the gopis, they are the manjaris, they are more attracted to Radharani, they're more attached to Radharani. So they don't directly associate with Krishna. So although the manjaris also, they have their husbands, they are also married. Okay. So they have amorous feeling for Krishna, but that amorous feeling, more than that, superior to that, is the feeling or attachment for Radharani. So every manjari, they will try to help Radharani meet Krishna. They don't want to personally enjoy with Krishna. Although they have amorous relationship with the Lord, they have that kind of feelings also. And Krishna, when he wants and when Radharani wants, they both will arrange for the manjaris to enjoy individually with the Lord, like that. So it's a, I think, very advanced topic. But to just give you some idea that all these sentiments, they will reveal with time. Which is your, you may also get attracted to Sakhyaras or Vatsalaras, where you think that Krishna is supposed to be your friend or your son, like that. So these kind of sentiments will come to you with time.
Got it, Prabhuji. It's as you said, it's high level to understand right now, and with slowly when you get purified and it slowly reveals in the heart.
How many years, Mataji, have you spent in ISKCON?
To be honest, only 2 years, Prabhuji. Only 2 years, but I'm like so fortunate that I entered into ISKCON through my friend. And I started with her Shiksha Guru. Like she started initially with Prabhupada book. So you were talking about the congregation and thing, right? So I was thinking, okay, that's the reason when you read, that was the first book which we read, Prabhupada book. So when you understand how much struggle he took for this mission, then it's hard to leave the congregation. When
Absolutely, yeah. So it's very much required that we know about Prabhupada, his leelas, and then we understand that. See, it's not just about what he sacrificed for us, but what sacrifice that he himself performed, what kind of austerities underwent, not just for us, but overall. If you see, when you compare it to the other Sampradaya leaders, for example, Premanand Maharaj also. Now, Premanand Maharaj, he has his own set of austerities and he has done, the thing. But doing for oneself and doing it for the world and coming to the field and giving it to others. So that requires a different level of, sacrifice altogether. So your appreciation of Prabhupada will increase like anything. No other devotee, because that's what he has done actually. So much headache, so much management issues, so many things he managed. So when you understand these things, then you will able to appreciate more and more.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Yes. All right. So it's already, I think, it's more than 2 hours now. So we'll continue again next time. I think my session is next week only, right? 29th probably, 29th or 30th. So we'll connect next time. So thank you so much all the devotees for joining. Hare Krishna. Dhanvat pranam to everyone. Mancha kalpatu vishta vasundeva cha patiram pavane ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Now, Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam. Thank you so much for this next class and discussion. So, Vancha Kalpataru Krupa Sindhu cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namah. Anandakoti Vaishnava ki jai, Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki jai,
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai, His Grace Prema Rasa Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.